Welcome to your favorite channel where we uncover the hidden truths behind reality TV's most shocking scandals. Today we dive into one of the most explosive stories ever to come out of 90 Day Fiance, the collapse of Elizabeth and Andrei Castrovet's marriage. What started as a love story filled with sacrifice and cultural clashes quickly turned into betrayal, secrecy, and courtroom drama. The turning point came when Elizabeth stood in front of her family and the cameras and announced she was pregnant. But the father was not her husband, Andrei. It was Joseph, her secret boyfriend, a man she had been seeing for 6 months. Her words were clear and devastating. She said she would not stay with Andrei. She was carrying Joseph's child, and she would only marry Joseph. The revelation destroyed Andrei. He stood there shocked and humiliated. But his heartbreak soon turned into anger. He accused Elizabeth not only of cheating, but also of financial fraud. He claimed she had borrowed $75,000 from him and refused to pay it back. What began as a personal betrayal soon became a legal battle where love, lies, and money collided in public. This was no longer just reality TV drama. It became a real-life scandal that changed lives forever. The cameras were rolling when Elizabeth made her announcement. The family was gathered, expecting happy news about a pregnancy. Instead, they witnessed one of the most shocking moments in the show's history. Elizabeth's voice shook, but she spoke clearly. She said she was pregnant, but the baby was not Andrei's. It was Joseph's. The room went silent. Andrei's face turned pale. He could not believe what he was hearing. The man who had stood beside her through immigration struggles, family fights, and cultural tension was now told he was not the father of her child. Elizabeth continued speaking. She said she would not stay in the marriage. She was carrying Joseph's baby and planned to marry Joseph instead. The words hit Andrei like a blow. The betrayal was not private. It was announced in front of family, cameras, and millions of viewers. Andrei demanded answers. His voice cracked as he asked how this could happen. Elizabeth gave only one explanation. She had fallen in love with someone else. The family exploded into arguments. Some defended Elizabeth's right to choose her happiness. Others accused her of destroying her marriage and embarrassing everyone. For Andrei, the pain was overwhelming. He had built his life around Elizabeth. He believed in their future. Now everything felt like a lie. Fans watching from home reacted immediately. Social media filled with shock, anger, and debate. The couple's story took a dark turn. What once seemed like a difficult but strong marriage now looked broken beyond repair. Behind Elizabeth's announcement was a secret that had been hidden for months. While cameras followed her marriage, another relationship was growing in secret. For 6 months, Elizabeth had been living a double life. To the world, she was Andrei's wife. In private, she was deeply involved with Joseph. The affair began with simple conversations. Those conversations became late-night phone calls. Soon, they turned into secret meetings. Elizabeth told Andrei she was visiting friends or running errands. In reality, she was meeting Joseph. Each meeting made her feel more connected to him. Joseph was different from Andrei. He was calm, patient, and attentive. He listened to her frustrations. He encouraged her dreams. He made her feel understood. To Elizabeth, Joseph felt like freedom. She felt less pressure and fewer arguments. She believed she had found something missing in her marriage. But secrets do not stay hidden forever. Her pregnancy made it impossible to keep the truth buried. The baby was proof of the affair. When Andrei learned the relationship had been going on for 6 months, the betrayal felt even deeper. Every moment he thought she was loyal, she had been with someone else. The damage was not only physical. It was emotional. It was complete. Elizabeth's family reacted with shock and anger. Some called her selfish and reckless. Others wondered if she had been unhappy for a long time. No matter the reason, the marriage was destroyed. For Andrei, the betrayal was more than heartbreak. It was humiliation. He had defended Elizabeth in front of her family many times. He had worked hard to provide stability. He believed their bond was strong. Now he felt like a fool in front of millions. In the days after the announcement, Andrei struggled. Friends said he barely slept. He walked through their home replaying every memory. He questioned himself. Did he miss the warning signs? Did he fail as a husband? His private pain became public entertainment. Viewers discussed his reaction. Social media created memes and arguments. His heartbreak was analyzed by strangers, but slowly, his sadness turned into anger. Andrei decided he would not remain silent. He began reviewing financial records. He looked at bank transfers and shared accounts. He believed Elizabeth had taken advantage of him financially. He claimed she borrowed $75,000 during their marriage with promises to repay it. Now, after leaving him, she refused. He decided to take the matter to court. Elizabeth's family was once again thrown into chaos. Her parents were deeply disappointed. Her mother demanded to know why she would destroy her marriage so publicly. Her father accused her of embarrassing the family. Her siblings argued loudly. Some blamed Andrei for being too controlling. Others blamed Elizabeth for cheating and lying. The family was divided. The arguments were intense. What was once a private crisis became another public spectacle. When the legal case began, both sides prepared for a fight. Andrei presented financial records showing large transfers. He claimed the money was a loan. He said Elizabeth promised to repay it. Elizabeth argued that the money was used for shared expenses and family needs. She claimed it was not a formal loan, but part of their marriage. The courtroom became the stage for the next chapter of their drama. Lawyers questioned motives. Evidence was reviewed. Every detail of their marriage was examined. The case was about more than money. It was about trust and responsibility. As the trial continued, public attention grew even stronger. Some people supported Andrei, believing he was betrayed both emotionally and financially. Others supported Elizabeth, arguing that marriages are complicated and money is often shared without clear agreements. In the end, the judge delivered a shocking verdict. The court found Elizabeth guilty of financial fraud related to the borrowed money. She was sentenced to prison. The decision stunned viewers and divided opinions even further. For Andrei, the ruling felt like justice. It did not erase his heartbreak, but it gave him closure. He felt that the truth had been recognized. For Elizabeth, the consequences were severe. What began as an affair ended with legal punishment. Her decision to leave her marriage had changed the course of her life completely. This story became more than a reality TV scandal. It became a warning about choices and consequences. A secret affair led to a public confession. A confession led to divorce. Divorce led to a courtroom battle. And that battle ended with a prison sentence. Lives were permanently changed. Love turned into betrayal. Trust turned into anger. And reality television turned into real-life consequences. What began as a dramatic announcement in front of cameras became a story that neither Elizabeth nor Andrei will ever escape. Some family members called Elizabeth reckless and selfish. They said she had destroyed her marriage and embarrassed everyone. Others quietly said maybe she had been unhappy for a long time, that maybe Joseph gave her the freedom she felt she was missing. But even those who tried to understand her could not ignore the damage she had caused. Andrei stood in the middle of it all, surrounded by voices that made his pain even worse. Some relatives tried to comfort him. They told him he deserved better and that he would recover from this. Others pushed his anger, telling him to fight back, to expose Elizabeth's lies, and to protect his dignity. The family's living room turned into a war zone. Arguments lasted for hours. Every word was recorded by cameras and later discussed by fans online. Social media made everything bigger. People argued nonstop. Some called Elizabeth the villain. Others said Andrei had been too controlling and that she had every right to leave. Hashtags trended. Clips of the confrontation spread everywhere. For Elizabeth, the backlash was intense. She said she was following her heart. She claimed Joseph was the man she truly loved. But the criticism from her family hurt deeply. The public attention made her feel judged every second. Andrei started to see something clearly. The anger from the family could help him in court. Their disappointment and their statements could support his case. What began as emotional chaos was slowly turning into a legal strategy. Until now, Joseph had stayed in the background. He was the secret boyfriend no one had seen clearly. But after the pregnancy announcement, he could no longer hide. When Joseph finally appeared publicly, many were surprised. He was very different from Andrei. While Andrei was strong and intense, Joseph seemed calm and gentle. He spoke softly and carried himself with quiet confidence. This difference made Elizabeth feel even more certain about her choice. But people had questions. Who was Joseph really? Why had Elizabeth risked everything for him? Joseph explained that their relationship was about love, not betrayal. He said Elizabeth had been unhappy in her marriage long before they met. He claimed he only gave her the understanding and support she needed. In his mind, their relationship was not wrong. It was meant to be. However, the public did not easily accept that explanation. Many people called him a homewrecker. Some believed he manipulated Elizabeth. Others wondered if he was just enjoying the attention. Despite the criticism, Joseph stayed by Elizabeth's side. He attended family events, even when people stared at him with anger. He held her hand in public, showing he was not afraid of the conflict. For Elizabeth, Joseph gave her strength. For Andrei, Joseph's presence made everything worse. Seeing him was a constant reminder of betrayal and the child Elizabeth was carrying. The tension between the two men was obvious. Every meeting felt heavy. Andrei's anger grew stronger each day. Joseph's calm attitude only made the rivalry sharper. For Andrei, heartbreak was not enough. He believed Elizabeth's actions had legal consequences. He decided to take the fight to court that he accused Elizabeth of two major wrongs. First, he said she had betrayed their marriage by getting pregnant with another man's child while still legally married. Under the law, that situation could make him legally responsible for a child that was not his. Second, he accused her of financial fraud. He said she had borrowed $75,000 from him and refused to repay it. Elizabeth strongly denied the claims. She said Andrei was acting out of anger and revenge. But Andrei had prepared carefully. He collected bank statements, text messages, and statements from family members who knew about the money. He wanted to show the court that Elizabeth had not only broken his heart, but also taken advantage of him financially. The courtroom became the new stage of their drama. Fans followed every update. People debated online about who was telling the truth. The $75,000 became the center of the trial. Andrei showed bank transfers and messages where Elizabeth allegedly asked for money. He argued clearly that it was a loan, not a gift. Elizabeth said it was normal marital support. She claimed the money was used for shared needs and family expenses. She said Andrei was twisting the truth to punish her for leaving him. Witnesses were called to testify. Some remembered Elizabeth talking about borrowing money and promising to repay it. Others said they never heard such promises. The judge had to sort through emotions, anger, and facts. Outside the courthouse, the public argued constantly. Some believed Elizabeth had committed fraud. Others believed Andrei was using money as a weapon. For Andrei, the $75,000 represented proof of betrayal. For Elizabeth, it was about her reputation. If she lost the case, the consequences would be serious. If she won, Andrei's claims would fall apart. The trial showed how quickly love can turn into conflict when trust is broken. As the case continued, the courtroom became tense. Andrei no longer looked broken. He looked determined. He wanted justice. Elizabeth appeared confident and calm. She insisted she had done nothing illegal. She said her romantic choices were personal and that Andrei was trying to control her even after she left. Andrei's lawyer presented detailed records of money transfers that added up to $75,000. Text messages were read in court where Elizabeth appeared to request financial help and mention repayment. Elizabeth's lawyer argued that the messages were being misinterpreted. He said there was no signed agreement and no formal contract proving it was a loan. The judge listened carefully to both sides. The case was not only about numbers. It was about credibility. Who was telling the truth? Who was acting out of anger? The tension in the room was intense as final arguments were made. Andrei said he had trusted his wife and supported her financially, believing she would honor her promises. He said he was betrayed both emotionally and financially. Elizabeth said she had been trapped in an unhappy marriage and that Andrei was using the court to hurt her. She insisted the money was shared during their marriage and not a loan. When the verdict finally came, it shocked many people. The court ruled that the $75,000 was indeed a loan. The bank records and messages were enough evidence. Elizabeth was found guilty of financial fraud. The sentence included prison time. The decision ended the legal battle, but not the emotional scars. For Andrei, it felt like justice. It did not fix the heartbreak, but it restored some of his dignity. For Elizabeth, the consequences were life-changing. What started as an affair ended in a prison sentence. This story showed how quickly everything can fall apart. A secret relationship led to a public confession. The confession led to divorce. The divorce led to a lawsuit. And the lawsuit led to a criminal conviction. Love, betrayal, money, and pride all collided. In the end, it was not just reality television drama. It was real life, with real consequences that neither Elizabeth nor Andrei will ever forget. The courtroom grew silent as the judge read the final decision. Every word felt heavy. Elizabeth stood still, her expression tense but controlled. Andrei watched closely, his jaw tight, waiting for the outcome that would close this painful chapter of his life. When the sentence was confirmed, the weight of it settled over the room. Elizabeth was ordered to repay the $75,000 and serve time in prison for financial fraud. Gasps could be heard from those seated behind them. What had started as a love triangle had now turned into a criminal case with real consequences. For Elizabeth, the moment felt unreal. Just months earlier, she had stood confidently announcing her pregnancy and her decision to leave her husband. She believed she was choosing happiness. Now she faced the reality that her choices had led her here. Joseph sat quietly in the courtroom, his face pale. The man who once spoke calmly about destiny and love now faced a situation he could not soften with gentle words. The future they imagined together suddenly looked uncertain. Andrei did not smile. There was no celebration in his expression. Justice had been served, but the cost had been high. His marriage was gone. His reputation had been dragged through headlines. His personal pain had become public entertainment. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited. Cameras flashed as Elizabeth was escorted away. Questions were shouted from every direction. Some reporters asked if she regretted her affair. Others asked Joseph if he would stand by her. Andrei was asked whether he felt satisfied. Social media exploded again. Some people believed the sentence was too harsh. Others said it was deserved. The debates continued for weeks. But inside the legal system, the case was closed. In the days that followed, Andrei returned home to a house that felt emptier than ever. Even though anger had fueled him during the trial, the quiet after the storm was difficult. Revenge had not healed his heart. It had only given him closure. He began focusing on rebuilding his life. He spent time with close friends and avoided interviews. Slowly, he started separating his identity from the scandal. He reminded himself that one person's betrayal did not define his worth. Elizabeth, meanwhile, faced a very different reality. Prison was nothing like the dramatic scenes shown on television. It was strict, structured, and isolating. Time moved slowly. Each day gave her space to think about the choices that brought her there. At first, she felt anger. She believed Andrei had pushed too hard, that he wanted to destroy her. But as weeks passed, that anger softened into reflection. She began to accept that her actions had consequences. She thought about the moment she announced her pregnancy. She remembered the shock on Andrei's face and the silence that followed. She realized that while she had followed her heart, she had not handled the situation with honesty or responsibility. Joseph visited when he could. He promised he would wait for her. He told her they would start fresh once this was over. But even in his reassurances, there was uncertainty. Life outside was moving forward. Inside, she was standing still. Elizabeth missed simple things: privacy, freedom, the ability to make her own choices without supervision. She began to understand that love alone does not protect you from consequences. Her family struggled as well. Public judgment did not stop after the verdict. They faced criticism in their community. Some neighbors whispered. Others offered quiet sympathy. The scandal had left a mark on everyone. Andrei's name slowly began to separate from Elizabeth's in public discussions. He was seen by some as a wronged husband who stood up for himself. By others, he was still viewed as intense and unforgiving. But one thing was clear: he had fought back and won. Months passed. Appeals were discussed but never changed the outcome. The repayment plan for the $75,000 was arranged. The financial damage was being repaired piece by piece. Joseph prepared for fatherhood while also navigating the complicated situation. Raising a child while the mother served a sentence was not the future he imagined. He faced criticism from strangers and pressure from both families. The baby became an innocent center of attention, a child born into controversy, a reminder that adult choices affect more than just two people. As time went on, the noise around the scandal slowly faded. New reality TV drama replaced the headlines. Other couples became trending topics. The world moved on as it always does. But for those involved, the story never truly disappeared. Andrei learned that trust, once broken, cannot always be repaired. He became more guarded and